Okay, taking a look at this question, we have two teens operating their own lawn mowing business. We have Tom charging $30 up front at $20 per week to cut his client lawns, while Cindy simply charges $30 per week. And part A wants us to find the equation. So I'm going to pause the video and allow you to try to determine both Tom's equation and Cindy's equation. So recall Tom has an equation of C equals 30 plus 20W. So when we sub in the value of 5 weeks, that's going to go in for W, since W represents the number of weeks. Not the cost. We're trying to find the cost. We want to find how much it costs. That's the variable we're going to solve for. So let's take a look at what that'll look like here. So remembering, basically we're going to replace the W with 5. While everything else will stay the same. Now keeping in mind that 20 times 5 is equal to 100, that 30 is going to come on down and we find Tom will cost $130 total, or the point 5, comma 130 for weeks and cost. See if you can try the equation for Cindy and sub in 5 to see her result. And we can see Cindy's equation, C equals 30W. We're also going to take 5 for weeks and sub it in for W, and we'll end up with the following. C equals 30 times 5. Since 3 times 5 is equal to 15, we know 30 times 5 is equal to 150, and therefore, since we found out that Tom's company, for the same number of weeks, would only charge $130, we know therefore Tom offers the better deal. Okay, this question's asking if a customer is willing to spend a maximum of $500 and he wants to use Tom's business, how many weeks could he have his lawn cut? So since Tom's business had that equation C equals 30 for his initial cost plus $20 every week the lawn's cut, we need to consider the fact that 500 represents our cost that we're willing to spend. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to sub in the value 500 for C, and the remainder, or the rest of this equation, is going to remain the same. And what we're trying to find is how many weeks. So that's the number we're trying to figure out. So that's why we're going to try to solve or isolate for W. Alright, in order to do that, we follow the same opposite operation rules. Since we want to get our W's by themselves, our W terms by themselves, and our number terms by themselves, we could go ahead and use the highlighter. We see in yellow, there's our W terms, and in orange, we have our number terms, or our constant terms. So we need to get all the orange to one side and keep the yellow on the other. So what we'll do is we'll then proceed to use our opposite operations. We know we now have to get that 30 to the left, so we're going to subtract 30 on both sides, remembering whatever we do to one side we have to do to the other. And now when we work that out, what we end up with is 500 minus 30 on the left, which is 470, equals 30 minus 30 leaves us with 0 for constants on the right, and that 20W. Alright, so in order to get the W by itself, keeping in mind we've got 20W, in between the W and the 20 is multiplication, so we're going to have to do the opposite operation once again, which is division, and in this case we divide by 20 on both sides. So on the left side we see 470 divided by 20. If I think 470 divided by 10, that leaves me with 47. And when I take 470 divided by 10, I get 47. Since it's 20, I'll divide by another 2, and I'll get 23.5. And 20 divided by 20, so 20W divided by 20 equals W. And we know, therefore, this customer can cut his lawn 23.5 times for $500.